This video is sponsored by Squarespace. This is Frunzy's Rubens tab T11 Pro. It costs a little over $200 on Amazon, and it is one of the cheapest Android drawing tablets that money can buy. Is it any good? Well, I got my hands on one. Today, we are going to find out. Hello, my name is Brad. I review tech for creative professionals. A lot of you have been requesting for me to do a review of another Android tablet. Of course, it's not this one. It's the OnePlus tab. It's in the mail. It's coming. That review's still a week or so off, though. But for now, I thought this might be a good one to jump into. We need a project for this, so I'm gonna grab a sketch from my new course, Learn to Draw in 60 Days. I think this is a sketch we make in day 29. My first impressions when I pulled this out of the box were that it feels sturdier than I expected. There aren't a lot of bells and whistles here, but it's a solid little Android tablet. It's got a 1080 screen, that's 1920 by 1080 pixels. That gives it a 16:9 aspect ratio, so it's not a super high density screen, but at the same time, at its 10-inch size, it doesn't look horrible. You can't see a lot of pixels because it's so small. There are some bezels on this, and there's also a screen protector, but what's interesting is even though this is a drawing tablet and it comes with a screen protector pre-installed, it's not a matte screen protector, it's a very glossy screen protector. So it looks like it's more designed for protecting the screen than enhancing the drawing experience in any way. The back is a plastic, but it's a slightly rubbery-ish feeling plastic, and it actually feels pretty good. It's a nice grip, and it's a nice tablet to hold on to. Along the side, you have the power button, you have the volume rocker, and you have more ports along the side than you're used to seeing on an Android tablet or an iPad. We have our USB Type-C for charging, a mini HDMI port, a 3.5mm headphone jack, and a TF card slot. This does only come with 64 gigabytes of storage, so it is kind of nice to have that expansion slot there if you need more. This is not a super high-end display, and that's not something I expected with a tablet like this. It's also not a laminated display, which is something that's probably going to get in the way of the drawing experience a little bit. Lamination is where there is a no gap in between the glass and the screen below it. If you have a phone that you've bought in the last 7 or 8 years, or if you have a more modern iPad, you're probably going to notice that sort of thing. I was a little worried about performance. Is this thing going to be a dog and really laggy? And in my few days with it, so far it's been okay. Now, one thing that does happen on Android is this doesn't have a fancy skin on it or anything. And so when you're scrolling left to right, it's designed to be on a skinny little phone. So when you broaden it out to a wide tablet, those animations do look slower than they really are. But when you get into using the apps or using the keyboard or actually using the tablet, it's not noticeably slow. So if you're wondering about what drawing apps to use, if any drawing apps are going to be laggy or just not going to work well, that wasn't something that I ran into here. So you've probably been watching me draw up to this point and you realize those lines look a little shaky. And yeah, we need to talk about this pen. But before we do, I want to shout out to today's sponsor, Squarespace. You already know Squarespace can build you a great website, but they can also give you all the tools you need to take your business to the next level. Start by checking out all the insights available in their analytics, where your site visits are coming from, where sales are coming from, analyze which channels are most effective, improve your website, and build a marketing strategy based on top keywords and the most popular products and content. Squarespace also provides SEO tools. Every Squarespace website and online store comes with a whole suite of integrated features and useful guides that will help you maximize prominence among search results. And of course, you can stand out in any inbox with Squarespace's email campaigns. Select email subscribers and convert them into loyal customers. Start with an email template and customize it by applying your brand ingredients like your colors and your logo. Go to squarespace.com for a free trial. When you're ready to launch, go to squarespace.com/BradColbo to save 10% on your first purchase of a website or domain. So at this point in the video, just watching it, you probably have a pretty good idea of what this pen is or is not capable of, but I figure it's worth a good old test anyway. So first and foremost, I'm always looking for nice, smooth lines when I am drawing slow angled lines, and here it is just absolute wiggle city. So right here, as I speed it up, you can see the lines get better, but to get a really smooth line, you kind of have to go at about that speed or faster. Anything below that is just going to be a ton of wobble. So that in and of itself is kind of taking a ton away from this pen for me. The other thing that is really kind of throwing me for a loop is this is a non-laminated screen. And that's doing a couple things. So first of all, you have the glass, and then you have a gap, and then you have the screen below it, which means your cursor isn't exactly lining up with where your pen tip is. Sometimes that isn't such a big deal, because it's just a tiny little space. But when your cursor isn't perfectly matched to the tip of your pen tip, like what is going on here, it does become a big deal. It becomes very hard to close circles. You have to move a little bit slower to do that, which means you're going to get more wave to it, all because that pen tip isn't perfectly aligned. On top of that, the other thing that is occurring over and over again is there is just a ton of lag going on here. So when you mix this all together, we're talking about the gap in the screen, the little bit of offset in the pen, and then also that major lag that I'm seeing here. It creates a pen that does not feel natural at all. And in many ways, this is one of the hardest pens I've drawn with in quite some time. And so even though it's doing other things well, like I think it does, hatch lines pretty well, I'm not getting like any hooks, I'm not getting any weird things going on there. The pen just feels so dang inaccurate that even when I am drawing quickly and I'm getting rid of some of that wobble, or if I turn on pen smoothness, it doesn't really matter. It just doesn't quite feel right. On top of that, this is a smooth glass screen, and this is pretty common with a lot of pens. You've got a hard rubber tip on this, so you just don't have a lot of control on the screen as well, which adds to kind of the wobbliness of this line. So overall, that's the thing that's really killing me with this pen, is it's just not very good. So in conclusion, what do I think? I was really hoping this would be a budget tablet that maybe wasn't perfect in every single way, but would still be passable, and you could save a lot of money and still get a really great Android tablet to draw on. Unfortunately, that pen, it just holds you back in so many ways. If it was just like a little bit of wobble and you could turn on some straightening and get rid of it, I might be able to say, for the price, okay. But because the pen is so offset, because it's so hard to line things up, because of the lag, all of those things together create a really bad drawing experience. The closest thing I can think of in terms of competitor that is a better quality would be the Samsung Galaxy Tab S6 Lite. Now, I have recommended it in a lot of videos because I think it's one of the better values out there in drawing tech. And the pen on that is really, really good, and it has okay specs. Make sure you get the 2022 version, not the one from a few years ago, though, because that's got a much older processor. And occasionally you will find that dropping down in price under $300. In fact, a couple times I've seen it drop down to $250. So for $30 more than what this retails for, that is a definite bargain. But what do you think? Let me know down below in the comments. Thank you all for watching, and I'll talk to you in a couple of days.